Hello, hello. My name is Sharp Eyes.
And I am Crucifix. Hello?
Hello, hello. That was quite an interesting introduction. But
Thank you very
this is WeCast, where we cast.
Your games.
Absolutely. Now, Crucifix, what are we doing right now?
Well, today we're going to do something that's called it's called relaxing coaching. So we're going to coach in a very relaxing manner. Let me give you an example here. So say there was a stalker fighting a zealot. It's a PvP. An example would be I would say, and it's looking like the stalker is fighting the zealot. Oh, yep, there he goes. Pew pew pew. Right on to the zealot. And so basically, today's coaching session is just going to be the most relaxing possible coaching session we can muster. But at the same time, it's a 1/2 hour power coaching session. So it is super intense, relaxing coaching.
Sounds really bipolar.
Mhm. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Probably none of that's going to happen, but let's just, let's go with it.
Right now, without further ado, let's get started. Switching over
Sounds
to the
great.
WeCast cam.
Patent pending.
Alright, looking like some sexy sex tips will be displayed here.
Sexy sex tips, indeed.
So, pretty much we're gonna be changing our 10 tips at the end to 6 sexy sex tips.
6 sexy sex tips. No, not sex tips. 6 sexy tips to better gameplay.
6 sexy tips for better gameplay. Absolutely. Now, let's go ahead and yes, they are indeed. All right. So, this is actually very interesting because we actually do not know who our student is. Could
Ah,
it be Bishop, the Red Terran, or could it be Spectral, the Blue Zerg?
Well, so there's no. How is that possible? Is it because they only submitted one replay, so we're not sure who it is?
Uh, you're right on the ball with that.
Oh, sounds good. Seems like there would be a system in place, but you know what? Who cares? We're just going. How about this? I'm a Terran player, and Sharp Eyes is a Zerg player. And so the way we're going to do it is I'm going to coach the Terran player, and then how about you, Sharp Eyes, coach the Zerg player? So no matter who is playing or watching, they're going to get some good tips.
Sounds absolutely perfect.
Okay.
So, Chris, what is the Terran player doing right now?
He went gas first. Oh wait. Yeah, he went gas first. I'm pretty sure. Maybe a Reaper opening.
Okay, and as for the Zerg player, we do see him going hatch first into some kind of spawning pool here.
It is
Very,
Reaper. It is
very
Reaper.
okay. Reaper play.
What? Oh, he went hatch first into spawning pool.
Absolutely.
That's pretty normal versus Terran, correct?
Nope. I mean, usually the Zerg player tosses up a Roach Warren first.
Really? Before pool?
Before hatchery, before pool, before. Whoa! What is going on here? Uh, he is just transferring some
Oh,
drones here
he's
to
doing a bunker rush. So I am almost positive that the Zerg is our coachee, and he wants to know how to stop this bunker rush. But let's see here. So basically, what you want to be doing, like against something like this, is like if this happens to you guys in the future, is scouting your opponent's always good. See if he's going gas first, but you want to kill. Don't try to kill the bunker itself because it's much more efficient to kill the SEV, making the bunker because it causes him to pull more SEVs to finish it. A bunker without a non-finished bunker is just a rock, on the ground. So like instead of like when you pull your drones, which you should do, like you did, when you pull your drones to kill the bunker, don't target the bunker, target the SCV, and then once that's dead, then target the bunker. And then as far as the Reaper goes, you can just chase him off with with like 3 drones or something, micro a little bit there. And it is looking like the Terran player is going to commit to this Reaper play. Um, let's see what happens further on. Um, So the Terran's now going just straight into bio. A few Hellions. Probably gonna pump out Marines and Marauders and then Starport. Still don't have a maybe even a Hellbats if he builds an armory anytime soon, but we'll see.
So it looks like a bunch of Hellions here are roasting and toasting these drones.
Right. So when you pull Hellions, when you pull drones like this, you really like this is the last thing that you want to do is to like keep them bunched up as you move them around because look at how many drones that were just killed. I think if we look at units lost, yeah, the Zergs lost 29 units. I don't know how many of those were Zerglings, but I guarantee you at least 10 or 15 of them were drones. So so yeah, when you move drones away from Hellions, you want to split them up and then take them into your main base. Don't just shove them in a corner because once they're all bundled up into the corner like that, it makes the Hellions 10 times more effective.
Yep, and that is mathematically proven.
Indeed.
Yeah, versus Hellions, you really want to keep your queens close. The reason why those Hellions were even able to get in was because you were chasing out with your queens.
Yeah. Hellions are really good versus. Sorry, Queens are really good versus Hellions. It takes like 5 Hellions and like multiple shots to kill a queen, and to kill a queen with a Hellion, and queens are quite good. So yeah, like if you're ever having an issue, with the Hellions, don't build Zerglings. Don't build Zerglings if he has like 5 or 6. Just build a couple more queens. Use them to push the Hellions back, and then more queens is never really that bad. You can just use it for creep spread, and just larva injects and all that good stuff. So yeah, just if you're feeling Hellion pressure, make sure that you don't bunch up your drones and then build queens and roaches.
Yep. It is looking like some spine colors will be going down here.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I do notice that
yeah.
I do notice that like the Roach Warren is just about to be built now. I don't know if that was because you're just he was just a little preoccupied with trying to battle the Hellions with the drones and stuff. But the Zerg's mineral account's really high right now, and I feel like this Roach Warren could have been down a lot earlier. And I do like the fact that you made a macro hatch, but at this point, like, you don't want to just go more Zerglings when you already know he has a bunch of Hellions out, because Zerglings are directly countered by Hellions, and now he has a tank as well, setting up a contain.
Ooh,
He
blue
even has
flame.
blue. He even has blue flame. So like Zerglings are the worst thing to make right now. So I really would, as soon as you saw the Hellions go down, I really would have liked to see the Roach Warren go down immediately. And I like that you have these queens out now, but it's like too little, too late. He has way too many Hellions. He has a tank already set up. Marauders, in case you have Banelings, he's protecting his tank with his units. Right now is going to be really hard to win because he can basically do whatever he wants right now. He's just streaming units down, basically doing a 2-base all-in, but it's like not even because of this contain he has. So if you look at his army though, the one thing he doesn't have is almost any anti-air. He has a couple Marines and that's it. So what would have been really good is I really would have liked to see that Roach Warren as early as possible. As soon as you saw the Hellions, I would have liked to see you pump out queens. I would have liked to see you pump out queens to counter the Hellions as well. And then after the Roach Warren was down, and as soon as you had enough money, throw down a spine. Sorry, not a spine. Throw down a spire, because you had the queens going. You'd have the queens going. You'd have the roaches going, and then the spire just kind of puts the nail in the coffin for him because he went so hard into roaches, and then he went into hellions, and then he went into tanks, and then he went into marauders, and like 5 mutas would have just shut down that whole army of his. He doesn't have he barely had any anti-air at all, and like. So, like, Terran will do that. They'll try to do that army comp against Zerg because they're afraid of Banelings, and, you know, all those units are pretty good. But then as soon as you add mutas, there's really nothing he can do. That's happened to me before where I've had to just pull away because like, I was in a really good spot with my army, but I just had no answer to those mutas. And once you focus down the Marines, like they have no choice to either lose their entire army or try to pull back to their base, and then you can chase them all the way back, killing tanks and marauders all the way back. So I think mutas were the answer there.
Yep. So right here, you should have tossed down a Roach Warren for 1. For 2, you should have built some evolution chambers out here to try to limit the choke a little bit more.
Right.
I also noticed that your mineral count's actually really high, so you'd probably do well to either toss down one more hatchery somewhere, you know, just in case he decides to push you and take out your natural. You can transfer over drones.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that you would be in a much better position if you would have spent your minerals at this point in the game.
Right. I mean, you know, you're already kind of behind because of the Reaper play. He killed a lot of your drones with the Hellions. I don't know if that actually already happened yet. Yeah, it looks like it did. But like this is when you want to be countering as hard as you can. Spine up. Stop making lings because everything he has, like I guess the Reapers actually, the Speedlings are really good versus the Reapers. But man, a surround on those Reapers. You could have had all of them. Looks like you might still get them. No way. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. I felt like an A click there would have been really good, but yeah. So like, I really felt like as soon as you saw those Hellions. And you were able to get them back with your queens. I mean, you did make queens, but it's just like you didn't make them right away, and you spined up, but it was just a little too late. You know, this is really where as soon as you saw, like, your reactions just need to be a little faster. As soon as you saw those Hellions, you should have known that, okay, like, now is when I need to go Roach Warren. Now is when I need to go. Aspire because you don't want to get yourself in a position where he's able to set like a big Hellion Reaper like contained situation.
Yeah, so like this right here, where your Roach is building, or your Roach Warren's building, and your spines are building, and your macro hatch is up. This should have been your base minutes ago.
Right, yeah. Like around like the 8-9 minute mark is where the Roach Swarm really should have been going down. I think maybe like your decision to make lings, and I guess it was just because, I guess you made lings because you couldn't make anything else because your Roach Warren was now, which is understandable. And now you'll start to make roaches now that they're available. You know, it is better to make, you know, whatever you can, like while you're waiting. But like, I mean, look at how many minerals you have right now. I think. Where are you? Like your queens aren't larva injecting. Like this one, like you are doing some larva injects, but you just like worst case scenario, like you have this many minerals, you're only on 2 bases, expand and then make like a second macro hatch at your nat. Like anything you can do to spend those minerals is going to be better than not. Like it's almost at 3,000 minerals. Why not make another macro hatch? You know, what's the worst thing? Like it's not like it's gonna hurt you. We don't want to just teach. Like, of course, you don't want to be in a position where you have to make 2 macro hatches. Who does? But if you're already in the position where you have so many extra minerals and you can't expand because he has a contain on you, or like you can't expand because you can't defend it, like just I just want to like put the mentality in your head to spend your minerals if you can spend them like in any way you can. And something that can help you right now is a macro hatch, or something that can help you right now is putting that roach warren down earlier. But if you didn't, and you don't know what to do, don't commit to this engagement right here where you probably will lose. You didn't have enough roaches to beat that army, and like I know, like I guess it was kind of a either kill it now or I'm gonna lose. But really, if you had just kind of hid behind your spine crawlers, maybe even given up your natural, belt up in your main as much as you could, at least you might have had a chance. But the fact that you pushed out instead of forcing him to push in meant that like you were gonna lose for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, you really want to fight in an area where it's not a choke point as Zerg,
Mhm.
and since you kind of forced that fight in that choke, you're putting yourself even more at a disadvantage.
He already had siege tanks in front of your natural, so like that's kind of why I wanted you to get a spire so badly, because you can't push into that at all. Like there's no way that I'm actually. Why do you have a layer at your natural instead of your main? But anyways, you can't push into your to that siege line. Like you're just gonna lose. That's what siege tanks do. So like the fact that you weren't able to push into that meant that you really had no choice but to go Spire, um, because that way you could have taken out the tanks from behind, and even if you weren't able to pick off the Marines, which you could have, um, at least you would have been able to do a fair fight with roaches and hydras or whatever you had out at the time. But as it was with just the roaches, you can't really hope to fight those marauders and the Hellions and the Marines backed up by tanks. It's just impossible.
Yep, yep. And yeah, so pretty much you definitely want to use those minerals in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that you were out of larva and you were trying to spend, as much as you can. But I think building wise, you could have put more spine crawlers
Mm-hmm.
and hatcheries
Yeah.
instead of just trying to force out those units when
Yeah.
you're dry up on larva.
Can't stress that enough. Like, if you lose a game with 2,000 minerals, then like they're never gonna get used. It's a video game, right? So once you quit the game, like that's it. Now you have zero minerals. Like now you're just a regular person again. So like you have to, like, if you're in the game and you think you're in a really bad position and you have a lot of minerals, just use your minerals. Like put down just put down like a ton of spine crawlers. Put down 2 hatches. Put down I don't know. How about you make a spire and another? I don't know. It doesn't matter, man. Just like if you find yourself in a position where you're being pressured and you can't expand, then just spend your minerals inside your 2 bases. Get those macro hatches out. Get those spine crawlers out. There's no reason not to spend them. It's not like you're gonna magically get like 7 times more larva all of a sudden and be able to expend 2,000 minerals. Just like kind of be put in the mentality that if you look up and you have 2K 3K minerals, you just kind of go on a shopping spree and make whatever your heart desires because you have enough money to do it.
Yep, yep, absolutely. So let's go ahead and go to our final segment where we do the 6 something something somethings.
It's 6 sexy tips to better gameplay.
6 sexy tips for better
Mm-hmm.
gameplay. All right, Chris, what is the first sexy tip?
I think you should. Sexily build a roach warren faster when you see Hellion play, because if you see Hellion play and you see Reaper play, like that's how the build order works. When somebody goes Reapers into Hellions, what they do is they do Reapers and they do damage with those, and then they go Hellions and they do damage with those, and then they mix them together, and then they do damage with both at the same time. So as soon as you see the Reaper play, as soon as you see the Reaper play, hold that off with Queens and Zerglings, and then after you hold it off with Queens and Zerglings, if you see Hellion and follow up, immediately throw down a Roach Warren, like right away, because that's the build. That's what happens. So as soon as you see those Hellions, if they were precursored by Reapers, you need to throw down the Roach Warren, and you need to tech to Spire as fast as you can.
Yep. Number 2.
Yep. What's number 2?
So I see that you're having a hard time with Hellions. Hellions usually come out between 5:30 and 6:20. What you want to do is you want to start building one spine crawler if you're really that worried about Hellions, or if you see them coming.
Right.
So one spine right at 5 o'clock or 5 in-game time, and then pretty much that one spine crawler will hold off 3 to 4 Hellions in conjunction with a queen. So it's very important.
Early spine crawlers are so key. Like if you have a couple spine crawlers down, one or two, like you can hold off just an entire Hellion line because Hellions cannot kill spine crawlers like at all. So yeah, just like it's very important. Number 3, I wasn't in a good spot to judge your creep spread by that game just because of how the game went. Like you were never really in a position where you were just able to macro freely. But if that if that is an issue, I just the reason I even mention it is because like creep spread is really 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 powerful, and a lot of lower league players don't adequately creep spread. Now I don't want you to get in a position where creep spread is keeping you from larva injects, but it is very important. So if you haven't been prioritizing creep spread in it at all, make sure that you do that.
Okay. I forgot what point we're.
Number 4.
Point number 4.
Yeah.
I would like to see some more reactionary play. So pretty much you saw Hellions, you felt Hellions, and then you masked the Zerglings. Pretty much when you see pros do those links rounds on Hellions, they're professionals for a reason. They can handle Zergling micro. But as a normal player like you and I, we can't perfectly surround Hellions every time with Zerglings. So like it's best not to mask Zerglings versus Hellions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I think like the main reason you probably made Zerglings was because your Roach Warren wasn't done yet. But maybe instead of making the Zerglings, which weren't really gonna do anything, use those minerals to throw down like the other buildings that we were talking about.
I felt that he actually made a lot of Zerglings for defensive purposes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I think like you said, it's better to be used for defense purposes than such as buildings.
Yes, using those minerals for spine crawlers instead would have been more effective against the army you were facing.
Right.
I think spending your minerals is point number 5. Spending your minerals is the biggest point. That and larva injects. Spending your minerals and larva injects is just going to help you so much because they go hand in hand. If you have enough larvae, you'll be able to spend your minerals. So I really would have liked to see, even as you're being harassed, don't miss those larva injects because they're so important to when you're trying to react to what your opponent's doing. Because if you don't have larvae, you're not going to have. If you don't have enough larvae, then you're not going to be able to make enough units to fend off his his play. And so I really would have liked to see your queens on very low energy, and make sure that you're spending your minerals however you can. If you don't have enough larvae to spend all your minerals, start making buildings. That it's as simple as that. If you use all your larvae, you still have a lot of minerals, make buildings. Like, I don't care what it is, what buildings you're making, as long as it makes some sense. Don't make 9 spawning pools. That wouldn't make any sense. But make spine crawlers, make evo chambers, make spires. Just there's no reason not to spend your minerals.
Yep. And to point number 6, I would like to apologize profusely if, in fact, you are the Terran player.
Oh my gosh, that would be so bad. But if you're the Terran player, like, you did a good job, man. Like, you set up the contain, you did a good build order. Like, you don't need coaching. Don't worry about it.
That's funny. But yeah, Crucifix, our bonus point.
Um, Bonus point, if you don't mind, if you enjoyed today's coaching session, got a lot out of it, we'd really like a review on nerdupgrades.com. It would really help us out, and let us know what we did well, or what we could do to improve, or whatever you have to say.
All right. Yep. It would help us out a lot, and will help us continue casting these daily coaching sessions.
Indeed.
Indeed. All right. Well, once again, my name is Sharbaz,
And I'm Crucifix.
and until next time,
Keep on playing.
keep on playing. Pew pew pew.
Pew pew.